Caleb, as we look back over the weekend, what stood out to you, sir?
All right, we're going to start with Texas A&M establishes itself with a marquee win. I already broke that down. Texas A&M is now on track to go 11-1 and play for the SEC championship game, and they're going to be favored in every game. And I maintain, watch out, that Texas A&M Texas game, the biggest SEC matchup of the year. It's weird to say, right?
Yeah, it sounds weird. It sounds weird, but it might very well be the case. I will say this, too. My biggest takeaway is that every team does look fallible. I don't think there is an elite team right now. All right, what's next?
Alabama and LSU are on a collision course in 2 weeks with their coaches. The loser will be one step away from being fired, or on the most hottest, serious hot seat possible between Brian Kelly and Caleb.
Which two? Which two again?
Alabama and LSU. They have byes this week. They are about to face each other in 2 weeks. With LSU losing to Texas A&M, when Alabama and LSU play in 2 weeks, Dave, the loser head coach is going to be in some serious heat.
I don't think Kalen DeBoer's seat can really get hot after just 1 year.
But will he not be feeling heat?
Oh, he'll be feeling heat from the fans, but I don't think the athletic department, if they're smart whatsoever, would make any sort of change. What's next,
they wouldn't. It's just about the heat. All right, so moving on to the Big Ten real quick. Both Oregon and Penn State score pretty impressive wins. Oregon, it was at home, but against a good Illinois team, they blow out. Penn State going to Wisconsin. I mean, whatever you guys want to say, that's a tough place to play, and they win. And Ohio State survives.
Wait, may I interrupt real quick? Did you see where James Franklin afterwards said, "I apologize for not addressing the rape allegations in the middle of the week in his press conference. I didn't handle that well." Did you see that?
He did that? I did not see that.
You
no.
suck, you jackass.
Well, no kidding. That's like saying, "I apologize. I have red hair. I should have looked in the damn mirror and known that." I mean, you should have known that before you put that sports information guy out there just to take the bullets. All right, Caleb, what do you got next?
Yep. All right, so next, Dave, I said Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State. What about Indiana? They do it again. They beat Washington by 2 touchdowns, and they didn't even have their backup. They had Taven Jackson in, the former Tennessee quarterback, because their starting quarterback was hurt. They are 8-0. You got to show some love, man. You got to.
If Indiana is in the college football playoff, we just have to start all over. All right, who's next?
I don't think we do. Okay, so here's the fun part. Just real quick, I need a bit of time on this, but Miami is still on a roll, but so is Pitt. 2 undefeated ACC teams. Dave, can I tell you how the ACC is set for chaos real quick?
Yes.
There are 4 undefeated teams: Miami, Pittsburgh, Clemson, and SMU. Pittsburgh is going to visit SMU soon, and they still have to play Clemson. They're going to be underdogs in both of those games. Miami doesn't play either of those teams, so if Vegas is right, Miami, Clemson, and SMU will all finish undefeated in ACC play at the end of the year. Who plays for the ACC title and who goes to the college football playoff? You can't put 3 teams from the ACC in the playoff.
No, you can't, but
that's crazy.
I would kind of like it if it happened, because then you'd have to relook at the whole thing and make a non-Indiana rule. Go ahead, Caleb.
What's a non-Indiana rule?
That's right. What's next?
The Big 12 still has 4 contenders. Iowa State and BYU are undefeated. Kansas State has 1 loss, which was to BYU, but they do play Iowa State soon enough. And Colorado hanging around with 2 losses right now. I mean, outside of Indiana with Kurt Signetti, if it's not him, Deion Sanders has got to be your coach of the year at this point, right?
Yeah, they're bowl eligible now, right?
Yeah, they're bowl eligible. I mean, you got to
give them credit. Given all that you said, who should Tennessee fans be rooting the most vociferously for moving or against moving forward?
That is a I need to write that out. That's a very we're going to start doing our rooting guide for Tennessee this week. So it's way too complicated to do in a quick soundbite. We got to flesh it out.
Right. What other takeaways do we have?
Couple more, and then I'll do my Heisman recent top 10. But number 7, Notre Dame's back in the CFP race. I mean, I know it was just.
I didn't think they were ever out.
People thought they were done because of the Northern Illinois loss, and they didn't have enough quality games left on their schedule. But because Texas A&M is looking really good now, that's more of a quality win, and blowing out Navy. I mean, Notre Dame is actually in a great position, because if they finish 11-1, they could get the 5 seed, because they don't even have a conference.
Caleb, it's a television show. In college football, Notre Dame is the Brad Pitt of college football. You're not going to leave him out.
That's true, but the big point is, can they get the 5 seed? And I think they can. Right.
Last one brought to you by Campbell Cunningham, Taylor, and Hahn. Keep it rolling.
to visit cctis.com. The information you need is easy to access, and setting an appointment is as simple as clicking the tab. Doctors Campbell, Cunningham, Taylor & Hahn, and Eye Care Optical at cctis.com. Simply the best.
All right, Caleb, what's next?
Real quick, can I just add, Adam has a great point. Have you noticed the less we've talked about Deion, the more successful Colorado's gotten in recent weeks? He's gotten less news. Just wanted to point that out. But Colorado's had more success. And
Yeah, true.
I think there's a correlation there.
I think there's also a strong correlation with he has two elite players that he's not going to get at Colorado, but that's a conversation.
That's true too. All right, so my last one before Heisman race in top 10. Boise State is firmly the favorite now for the group of 5 teams. Navy getting blown out by Notre Dame was bad, and I just don't think Army is going to do much better when they play Notre Dame in a couple of weeks. So Boise State's the favorite right now. So the College Football Playoff gets to, as of right now, avoid the chaos of having an Army-Navy game after the selection committee has to make its decision.
I was hoping for that. I like chaos.
I was too. All right, so Heisman race, Dave. Cam Ward is, I think, the clear-cut favorite. Now, I don't even think there's a close second, but if there is a second, Travis Hunter's number 2, Ashton Jeanty number 3, Dylan Gabriel number 4, Will Howard number 5.
Don't win in October, though.
You don't, and it's November time.
I mean, Cam could end up being 3rd or 4th before all's said and done. Who did we think was going to win at this time last year? Or 2 years ago, we would have said Hendon Hooker was going. And
we would have.
Last year, who was it?
Who was it?
Like somebody had a huge October. And anyway, go ahead. So your top 10?
Yep, my top 10 are Georgia is number 1. Y'all can call me crazy, but look at their schedule strength. They played the toughest schedule of anybody in college. I don't care if they have a loss. They played a tougher schedule than anybody in college football. They beat Clemson. They had to visit Alabama. They had to visit Texas. Georgia's number 1. I don't care that they have a loss. Their one loss is more impressive than Oregon's undefeated record, Miami's undefeated record, or Penn State's undefeated record. So I got Georgia number 1, Oregon number 2, Miami number 3, Penn State number 4. A&M's number 5, undefeated BYU's number 6, Tennessee's number 7, Texas is number 8, Notre Dame's number 9, Iowa State's number 10.
I don't have an argument with that. I think it's pretty good. Where did you have Tennessee again?
Number 7, right where the AP poll has them.
Seems low to me.
I went by schedule strength combined with quality wins combined with record, and BYU slightly edges them out right now by virtue of being undefeated. You could put Tennessee ahead of BYU. I think Tennessee's better than BYU, but I go by resume, not who I think is better. But you disagree with me that Georgia should be number 1 over the undefeated teams?
No.
They had to visit Texas, Alabama, and play Clemson at a neutral site.
No, I don't disagree with you at all. I can roll with that. To me, eye test makes them the number 1 team in the nation, but I'm a defensive minded guy, so I think Tennessee's a top 5 team in the nation, especially with the room to grow.
Mine's resume based.
Yeah, no, that's fair.